Thank you all for staying for my talk. Thank you to Blockspace Media for organizing this and to Strategy for hosting. This is really cool. So in November of 2024, I had the honor and pleasure of attending Bitcoin Research Week at Chaincode Labs, where we had a week of sessions from learning from each other and pushing forward the state of the art of Bitcoin research. And towards the end of the week, we were prompted to start a project that would carry on beyond the walls of Chaincode Labs and Bitcoin Research Week. And so one of the things that I heard kind of repeating throughout the week as we were talking about these different soft fork proposals that are floating around is that wouldn't it be great if we had some kind of resource where people, developers in particular, but the community broadly, could easily compare the different soft fork proposals and see what do they enable, what are the new capabilities, what are the new use cases, maybe what risks come along with them, if they help with scaling, how much do they help with scaling, and all these different kinds of facts and figures you would want to know about these different soft fork proposals. And so we put together a working group to work on something like this. Today, I'm happy to share for the first time publicly the results of that effort. I'm happy to and excited to present to you all bitcoin.softforks.org. Ta-da! And so what the website is it's a database of pretty much all of the different proposals that are floating around out there. And there are different columns that kind of give different information about each of the proposals. So if there's a BIP associated with the proposal, it would show up in this column. If there's like a website, it'll show up here. We've got like all the different kinds of use cases that are enabled by these proposals. And then a column for the components, which mostly are different opcodes, but in some cases are not. Like I think under drive chain, one of them is just blind merge mining, for example. And then we also have a column for throughput. So it kind of shows you, how much does a given proposal help scale self-custodial, throughput of Bitcoin transactions. Yeah, there's just a bunch of different things that you can kind of compare for each of the proposals. Oh, just went back. And so I think one of the powerful things about this kind of tool is really not just the database itself, but that we have these filters that we can add. So for example, if you want to see, what's the proposal, show me all the proposals that have like op CTV. Then we can add a filter for that. And then we can see all of the proposals that have CTV and kind of compare, all of the different things that are like part of those proposals. Maybe there's a particular use case that you really don't like, and you want to see, what's the proposal that does that thing that I really don't like. Then you can just look at a use case. Like I don't want to pick on any one in particular, but yeah, we can see, we can add a filter for use cases, and we can just pick out a use case here, and we can filter it down to that. So, like I said, the main objective is making it really easy for people to learn about soft forks, compare what they're capable of doing, what they enable, and really come help with the consensus building process of like, what do we actually want to do? What is it that we want to enable on Bitcoin versus what are we fine with pushing outside of the Bitcoin ecosystem? And so this is an open source project now. If you want to help contribute, you can, it's on GitHub. You can just create an issue on GitHub. There are already a few up here. The site is by no means comprehensive yet. It's got a ton of info already, but there's a lot that I'm sure could be added. So if you all do take a look and you see something missing, just create an issue on GitHub. Let's talk about it. And yeah, that's pretty much the project. I'm happy to take any questions or feedback if you have any thoughts on it already. Thank you.
One of the columns is throughput multiple. So yeah. 35 meaning like 35x what's currently possible?
Yes.
So if, let's say Paul opens up a pull request for drive chains and makes it infinity
yeah.
For throughput multiple, would you merge that PR?
Yeah, that's a good question. So drive chain is on here, and currently that is blank. And the reason is because, and I'm sure Paul would take, Paul has would have an opinion about this, but I guess there's a question of how do you define self-custodial, right? And I think right now the way that we're just thinking about it is like, do you at least have the same level of custody as you would like with a Lightning channel? Where you can unilaterally, if you can get a single transaction confirmed on chain, like get your coins out of the system. And with drive chain, you can't do that unless you have 51% of the hash power, I guess. But that's a different problem, maybe. So I think it's questionable whether that would fall under self-custodial throughput. Although, to Paul's credit and to other L2s that aren't quote unquote perfectly self-custodial or whatever, maybe there should be some kind of recognition that they do improve throughput if you're willing to accept some trade-offs.
Same question as this morning. Can you add a mevometer?
Yeah, that's actually one of the open issues right now is MEV quantification. Can we add a MEVL probability score? Like, how likely is it that something adds MEVL and in what quantities? So yeah, I think that's something we want to do. But there's an open question of like, how would you even start to quantify such a thing? But yeah, would love to brainstorm on that if you have ideas. That's cool. That's fine too. The Corallo index. Yeah.
All right. I was wondering, as you're building this, are you also thinking about ways to visualize it? I see you have a ton of information there and you can filter it. But at least for me, it's hard to digest this. That's why I kind of make these little color-coded, poorly sometimes, charts about these things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't have any direct plans to do something like that, but perhaps somebody could take this data set and build interesting visualization tools on top of it. But yeah, for right now, it's more like for people who have like spreadsheet brain, I guess. It might make sense.
It's the throughput multiple thing. Is there a reference for those numbers?
Yeah. So if we pick a given proposal out, let's see what I think. Let's see one that I might have annotated. Yeah. So where it's getting the throughput multiple from is it's actually carrying through from the use cases database. Because it's like a particular use case that enables some amount of throughput. So let's grab, yeah. So on this one, there's actually a explanation of throughput multiple details, and it says this, it's got this whole like paragraph and a source for where the information comes from. So yeah. Yeah, we try to cite our sources wherever we kind of make these kinds of claims like that. So. Any other questions? All right.
Awesome.
Well, thank you all so much.